Hey guys, this is PobCCC here, and I'm trying refilming this video because some things just didn't go well. Anyway, so I haven't even uploaded that first video I filmed yet, but by the time you see this, you will have seen that first new video because I will upload this afterwards. And basically, I'm making a documentation series of some of my old creations because a lot of them were made over 5 years ago. And over 5 years ago, I was a lot younger, and I didn't have nearly the skill level I have today. And I really realized, and well, I've known that for a while, and I've intended on taking down a lot of these older figures for a while, but the thing that really struck me as something that I wanted to document was this right here. Now, if you're really into the Bionicle story, or if you even have a base level understanding of it, you'll know who Mata Nui is. Mata Nui, however you want to pronounce it. And he was kind of like, almost like a godlike figure in Bionicle. Turns out he wasn't really a god, he was actually an artificial intelligence inhabiting a 40 million foot tall robot. Anyways, if you want to learn more about that, you can go to, a wiki or something, because I am not going to explain that here. Maybe in another day. But in 2009, they made a set for Mata Nui, and I had that set. It broke, and a long time ago, this has to have been, yeah, it was over 5 years ago. Over 5 years ago, what does that even mean? I made my own version of him. Now, I wasn't specifically trying to do anything perfect, but a lot of the pieces to the original figure had broken, so this is what I came up with for a remake of him. It has a little bit more of an interesting color choice, it doesn't really look correct, and then also, another problem is the fact that, you might be able to tell, I took a silver Sharpie marker to him. Young kids do odd things. Anyway, I took a silver Sharpie marker to the figure, and that means there's silver Sharpie on him. Funny thing though, I found one of those silver Sharpie markers I had the other day, or probably more like a month ago, but I've been using it to kind of touch up a couple figures, and I know that sounds weird at first, but it actually has come in handy on another figure that had a completely translucent head under his helmet, and I made it so that only the eyes and mouth were translucent, so that was actually kind of cool. But in general, this figure is very old, and let me explain what I mean. So if we look at it here, we see a figure I built a very long time ago, and he has a lot of broken pieces. If you look up here at his hip, you might see a bit of a crack in the socket right there. So that means that, well, look at that. See, his elbow just came off, because once again, that socket is cracked in certain places. And the reason for that would be the fact that in 2008, LEGO redesigned the sockets on the whole entire ball and socket system that was used for Bionicle figures, and they redesigned it so it became extremely brittle. I believe that the sizing was too small, so the size of the socket wrapping around the ball joint was too small, and they also made the general design of the socket thinner. So it was just a disaster waiting to happen, and it means that any Bionicle sets from 2008 through 2010 have extremely brittle sockets. I do not have one figure from that time frame that does not have a cracked socket in it, and that's the problem. And all of this guy's joints have those cracked sockets. He's extremely loose. Extremely loose. So that's a bit of a problem. But I wanted to document him quickly because he did play a bit of a role in the story, and I might explain a bit more of that role in the future, or a bit of a role in my story, I mean, for my characters, but either way, I just kind of wanted to document him, show off a few of his aspects of how I built him, and to start off, I did make some modifications of him through the years. It used to be that this launcher here was held in this hand, and he just had the shield in this hand. I changed that up so I could give him a small sword in this hand at one point, and then I just used a pretty simple, stupid little method to attach the launcher to his shield here, which I don't know why I designed it like this. I could have made it way, way better. Anyway, well, actually, I think the only thing I could have done to make it better was just using a shorter axle right here, but that's not a big deal. Anyway, obviously, this is much more of a toy than it is a model. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate the sets that were like this, that you could actually buy in stores, but for me, now, with the kind of stuff I want to build and I am building now, this is very simple. It doesn't have a lot of care put into the aesthetic. It doesn't have much complexity to it at all, but there is one thing that's charming to me about it, and just kind of gives it a little bit of value in my mind, and it's the fact that I had fun with it when I was younger, and every single one of these figures that I'm going to make one of these documentary videos on... Documentary? That's not how you pronounce that word. It's documentary. Seriously, I don't know why I can't talk when I get behind a camera. Anyway, geez, these documentary-style videos, I wanted to make them because a lot of these figures I'm going to document have some kind of prominence in my history as a builder. I've been building for over 10 years now. I got into Bionicle in late 2006, and it is now late 2017. It's been around 11 years since I got into Bionicle, so I have quite a history with the series, and never once have I not loved Bionicle. Anyway, I think that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I don't really have a lot to talk about regarding the figure. I just kind of wanted to document it, get a lot of good angles on how it looks, generally the way it's built, because, I just want to be able to remember the things I've built in the past. It's time to move on for me, and I still want to have documentation of these old things I built. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Oh, there goes his elbow again. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go grab some more figures. I probably will make 2 to 3 minute documentation videos on each of them. And then I will be rearranging some shelves, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, see you guys next time. Good Bionicle.